Good morning, everyone, and thanks Nick and James for inviting me along today. I always like to come and talk to colleagues about road safety, something that we're all very passionate about. This presentation covers a young driver campaign that was developed and launched in the North East by the 12 local authorities in the North East region earlier this year. The handbook says that the campaign was launched last March in 2013. It was actually January through to March of this year. You'll understand why I've said that when I get to the end. It was a series of 3 campaigns in the North East where social media had been used for the very first time by the group. We used to use the traditional bus back, radio and sometimes television media, but this year, because of the huge budget cuts, we had a very, very small budget and we had to use it very wisely. So we chose social media for this one. So this presentation will cover why we ran the campaign very briefly, the campaign aims, why Don't Drive Stupid, who did we target and how, campaign costs and reach, why did we run the campaign? Well, very briefly, if the speakers will all know that we weren't allowed to talk about statistics because of the time element, but there we go. You can have a quick look at those statistics and you can see that they're probably very similar to other regions. We do have a problem with young drivers and passengers in the North East. So that is why we ran the campaign. The campaign aims were very simple. To raise awareness, basically, we wanted to achieve a number of objectives. To raise awareness of the high number of incidents and casualties that we were suffering in the North East, to reduce the incidents and the number of KSIs, that's an obvious objective. We also wanted to get more people involved in local post-test training courses. There are a number of courses that we run in the North East which we run free or they're subsidised by various funding opportunities. And selfishly, we wanted to raise awareness of Road Safety GB group in the North East as well. So why Don't Drive Stupid? Well, we wanted to target mainly passengers and friends of drivers, using peer pressure as much as we could. We know that young people can put a lot of pressure on their friends and get them to do things that they don't want to do. And we wanted them to lean a little bit on the driver and try to get those messages across. We used the word stupid as a definition, someone who keeps quiet when their mates drive recklessly. So we wanted those people who are in the car to think about their own attitudes towards reckless driving and people who drive stupid, and to think, actually, do I, and referring to the last presentation, should I say something about that rather than just sit silent? Following a course there, the new Road Safety GB Foundation course that I attended with a number of colleagues, even though I've been in the job 25 years, I learned an awful lot from the foundation course. I learned a lot more about how people learn and how we can hopefully change behaviour. We wanted, following a number of lessons from that course about the different psychological models that we could use, we wanted to take a different approach in our messaging. And essentially what we learned was that we all want to be part of a bigger group. As children, we want to play with other children in bigger groups. We want to join the Cubs, the Scouts, the Brownies, sports teams. We all want to seem to migrate to that bigger team. And that was how we formulated this campaign and the message within it. So in our messages, the main strapline was that most drivers are good, safe drivers, be one of them. So what we were doing there was actually creating a virtual bigger group. So we were saying to young drivers, there is a bigger group out there who are really good drivers. You should actually be part of that group. Sorry, I've just lost my place there. Yesterday on my way down here, I was coming down one of the motorways and I noticed a sign, one of those variable signs that the Highways Agency put up. And that sign actually said, take your litter home. Most people do. And I think that's the same kind of message. It's about being part of what the bigger group do. So who did we target and how? Well, the who was easy. It was 17 to 24-year-old males and females, drivers and passengers. How? As I mentioned at the beginning, we use social media, Facebook and Twitter feeds. We use press coverage quite extensively, and we got all of the press involved in the North East. We produce printed, downloadable materials that any organisation could use if they wish, and we produced a viral video. Okay, so the Facebook page basically looks like this. It shows an image from one of the campaign graphics, and further down the page, obviously there's all of the posts and comments that came with the campaign. I have a Facebook account myself. I've had it for about 5 or 6 years, and to be honest, I've never really got into Facebook. I was never really interested in what my friends were having for breakfast or where the kids were going that night, and I kind of just dabbled a little bit with Facebook. But over the past 6 to 9 months, I've got much more interested in social media, and we actually engaged with a PR company locally to deliver this campaign for us, and I learned a lot from them about social media marketing. I actually found out that there are 3 types of Facebook page. I'm sure many people here already know that, but if you don't, there's the social page, which we all use. There are group pages, which I'm now on a group page as well, and there are business pages. And they all look the same, but the difference with the business pages, I found out that you can actually pay to boost your posts. So for a very small sum of money, you can tell all your friends and tell the public that you had coffee for breakfast, followed by bacon and eggs if you wanted that. But by using small amounts of money, you can actually boost those campaigns. And it was really interesting. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. We also, there are 2 more graphics from the Facebook page. One is the downloadable poster. The other is just photographs from the video shoot. And we thought that might be interesting to young drivers, just to see how that campaign was put together. And there was quite a lot of reaction to those pictures and those images. On Twitter, at Don't Drive Stupid, our friends, the British School of Motoring, they tweeted to 2,200 followers, and Hartlepool College tweeted to 1,500 of their followers. RSGB, North East and the local police forces also tweeted our messages to 3,000 of those followers. Now the good thing about that campaign, the Twitter thing, is that it's free. It doesn't cost anything at all. So what did we do with media press coverage? Well, as I said, we procured a local PR company, and they did most of the legwork. It was crucial to this campaign that we did engage with a PR company. What they did for us, they contacted all the major media outlets, TV, radio, press, and the great thing about this was that we offered local stats to the local media. Traditionally, we've just given the national statistics, and then they've come back and said, well, what's happening here? You know, what is happening in Hartlepool or Newcastle? So we provided all of those stats for them, and that really got the journalists to come out of the woodwork and talk to us. We gave them all the national stats as well, but they really wanted to know what was going on in their backyard, and that was really interesting. We also use case studies. Case studies are fine if you can find them. They're very difficult to get. But if they're used correctly, used wisely, they can attract the media in their droves. And that's what happened in this case. I'm not going to talk about the case study today, though. We got coverage. We pushed the offer of training, of course. There are a number of local training courses. We wanted to get people, young drivers, actually behind the wheel of the car. That's our intention. That was one of the main aims of the campaign. We got coverage on all of the regional radio stations, which we tend to, but on this occasion we got extended interviews. There weren't just sound bites here and there, 10 seconds or 15 seconds at the end of the news. We got actual studio time where we had 20, 30 minutes at a time where we were on a show talking about the young driver issues. And I think that was just because of the way that we promoted the campaign and got the media involved. Newspaper coverage was extensive. I did bring actually the newspaper cutting file, and it's in the car, but it's about that thick and it's full. It's hundreds and hundreds of newspaper cuttings. So that's great evidence that the campaign actually got out there. Now, with Facebook, I'll just go back a little bit. Insights. I know we've already talked about Facebook this morning. What I want to do is just go a little bit further, because I was quite surprised by Facebook and what it could do for us. As I said, the budget for this campaign was very small. It was only around about £5,000 for this particular one, and that is absolutely nothing for a regional campaign. So what we did, we boosted the post through the business Facebook page. You may not be able to see all of the text on there, but the big figures in bold tell us that for the sum of £10, that post actually reached over 12,500 young drivers. And using insights in Facebook, we could we could do it now. We could set the criteria and research our audience, say, for example, 50 miles around Swindon. We could find out how many 17 to 24-year-old drivers and passengers are on Facebook. We could hone our research down to find out their interests, what affects them, what their behaviours are, what it is they like and enjoy, and we could tweak our messages using Facebook as a research tool to get to the audience that we really want to. Another example, another post, I think this was the second day we spent another £10, I mean huge amounts of money, and we reached another 10,600 people. Next day, 18,200 people saw this post. And it just talks about some of the things that are in the campaign messages. And that obviously got feedback from the people who saw it. The viral video, we spent a little bit more money. We actually spent £59 on this one, but it reached 48,000 people. Now, I know in Kent you quote millions and millions of views of the campaign, yes, and you can do that by spending a lot of money. What this is demonstrating is that you don't really need to spend a huge amount of money to reach a lot of people. We could have put a lot more money into this campaign and trebled those figures if we so wished. We hope that the viral video would go worldwide. It hasn't yet, but we've still got some work to do with that. That's just a summary page from Insights. I know you can't read that, but basically what that is telling us is that with this, just the Facebook element of the campaign, we reached, there were 114,000 views of the Facebook comments and the posts that we put up. And that cost us the huge sum of £102.24. And that's really, I'm just trying to demonstrate that it can be very, very cost effective. Now, yeah, spending money, £102 isn't a lot of money, but it is a waste of money if we don't evaluate what we're doing. And as Poppy said, we really need to do evaluation. And the reason why I've corrected the book and said that this campaign was launched in March, in January, finished in March, is that we're now just about to go into the evaluation. So the post-test stage is just about to happen. That's to follow. I'm hoping that I can gather that information and publish it sometime in the future. The video, we decided this time to go with a little bit of humour rather than something that was hard-hitting, and hopefully we've got a few minutes. I can show you some of the video and maybe you can see the rest over lunchtime.
Hello, I'm a good driver.
And I'm a Mac.
Will you take it seriously, please? Hello, I'm a good driver.
And I'm a bad driver.
Is there any need for the sarcasm?
It's all subjective, isn't it?
Well, it's not really, is it?
Isn't it?
Well, no. Car accidents are far from subjective.
Your mum's not subjective.
Do you even know what subjective means?
It's a type of biscuit.
Right. Anyway, we are here
Digestive.
We are here to talk about some stone-cold facts about young drivers.
Stone cold.
Thanks for that. Yes, some facts about young drivers and some simple solutions that could help make us all better and safer drivers.
Okay, that's all we can show, but if you want to see the rest at lunchtime, I think we can arrange that. If you want to see the Facebook campaign and watch the whole of the video at leisure, well, if you just click on that link there, and you'll get to it. Thank you very much.